Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for always coming back. My name is Fee, and together with my family of 4, we moved here to the Netherlands from the United States, and I just love comparing the two countries and sharing my adventures here in the Netherlands. Anyways guys, I hope you've all been doing great. My family and I have all been doing really good. It's actually snowing today here in Dordrecht, which is so exciting, and I just got done finishing the baby's application for a US passport, which, oh my goodness, it is so much paperwork. It's absolutely insane. So if you're a US citizen getting ready to have a baby and you're not in the United States, get ready for a lot of paperwork. It is just absolute madness. Anyways, guys, I am now back to work. My maternity leave has unfortunately come to an end, which is why I wanted to make this video today and talk about why I think the Netherlands is more welcoming to children and families. So you guys know how we do it here. Go ahead and get comfortable, get yourself your favorite drink, and we'll get right into it. Which, guys, can we talk about how cute my mug is? One of my best friends in the US sent me this, and that's me there with the curls, and that's her with the red hair because she's a redhead with our names. Anyways, I just think it's a really cute mug that she sent me. I digress, guys. Let's go ahead and jump in right into today's topic. Like I mentioned a few moments ago, I'm now officially back to work from my maternity leave, and it's just brought up a lot of thoughts and feelings in my mind, and that's why I really would like to talk about why I feel like the Netherlands is way more welcoming to children and families. You know, I can't tell you guys how many comments I get from the Dutch just saying, gosh, I can't believe how good they have it here in the Netherlands compared to the United States. And yes, it's absolutely true. You guys have it good. I mean, you guys don't realize how many things we don't have in America and possibly other countries that I can't really speak to. But here in the Netherlands and Northern Europe, you guys have some really awesome laws, and it's such a great place to live, especially if you're pregnant or have children. And obviously in this video, I'm going to be speaking to Netherlands because that's where we currently live. And I feel like the Netherlands just offers a whole bunch of great benefits for families and children and really everyone in general. So I'm glad that my videos can shine a light on what is happening here in the Netherlands and what's lacking in the United States. Of course, each country has its pros and cons, and every country also has major areas that it can improve upon. So what I'll be talking about today is just parental leave in general. Based on what I've read and researched and what people have told me as well, the Netherlands has paid parental leave. So the most obvious difference is that the Netherlands has a paid parental leave policy for mothers and fathers, while the US has almost nothing. I say almost nothing because the US has the FMLA, which is the Family Medical Leave Act, which protects the mother's job for 12 weeks after the baby is born. However, when it comes to pay during the 12 weeks, that's a whole different story. I mean, you're paid a fraction of your salary when you're maternity leave on the US, and I can speak to this because I did have Cameron in the United States. The only thing that is protected is your job, and that's only for 12 weeks. Outside of that, you better have organized yourself appropriately financially or have a very supportive partner because your finances can get really tight after having a baby. What's interesting is that I'm talking about the law here and what's required by the law. And that's not to say that in America, you do have a lot of companies that will offer you leave. So I've mentioned it here before. I still work for an American company, and in my company, both mom and dad can take family leave, but this wholly depends on the company that you're working for. You know, I'm fortunate enough to work for a good company that offers great health benefits, but sadly in the US, the people that need these benefits the most are the ones that aren't getting it with their jobs, and they aren't supported by the law either. So it's one of those things in America, among a plethora of other things, that's a difference between the haves and have-nots. And at least here in the Netherlands, it's the same across the board for everyone. So it's more equitable here in the Netherlands. It's fairer, unlike in America, where only the privileged get the benefits of great health benefits, and parental leave. So I personally believe that there's a whole bunch of women from my mom's generation, because there isn't a policy to get paid while you're on maternity leave, that grew up with the idea that once you become an adult, you get married, you get children, and then you're just mom. And that's why it appears that so many women in her generation stayed home after they had babies, because it didn't make sense to go back to work because you weren't getting paid to be home with a baby during your maternity leave. So as soon as you have your baby, you basically quit your job, you quit your career. And part of that is simply due to the fact that mothers simply have to, because it becomes incredibly expensive to pay for childcare, which is a whole other video in itself. So they don't get paid much time off. So they just end up quitting their jobs because the time off that they get is so minimal, which is an absolute joke. Because trust me guys, I'm living in this currently, and I just had the baby. He's 16 weeks, which like I said, I'm now back to work. But with Cameron, I had to go back to work when he was 12 weeks old. And let me tell you, not only was I miserable, he was miserable as well. It was absolutely horrible. I mean, there's still so little at 12 weeks. I didn't want to leave Cam, but I had no choice if I wanted to have a job to go back to. You know, he was so tiny, and you guys know how vulnerable babies are when they're that little. You don't want to leave the baby in childcare, but you're left with no choice. And so yeah, culturally here in the Netherlands, having that national paid parental leave, and not just for mothers, but for fathers as well, it sets the cultural standard that, hey, being pregnant and having a baby and bringing up a child into this world is a sacred thing. And it's something that the mother and father both get the privilege to do, which I think that it's so important that the father gets parental leave as well. I can tell you guys on one hand how many men I know in the US that actually took parental leave because they probably weren't allowed to after their baby was born. If anything, you get the day after, or if you're lucky enough, the week after off. But as far as having like an extended amount of time to spend at home with a baby and help mom is absolutely non-existent. I mean, dad is just as important as mom, and it's important for them to know this. Yes, I grew the baby, and currently I'm the one that has to feed the baby. But without my husband's help, I would have gone absolutely crazy. I would have completely lost my mind. I needed his help for weeks after I gave birth, and the baby needs the dad's emotional support as well. And I completely understand that not everyone can have that, but when there's a good father, the baby benefits as well. And I feel like here in the Netherlands, because they have the paternal leave and also just the paid maternal leave as well, it sets that cultural tone that, hey, what you're doing matters, and we're going to allow you to take the time and space and money to support you so you can raise your child. I mean, it has such great benefits when that's the start that a baby is getting, that essentially ripples out to all of society. Because when the family starts off on the right foot, especially when mom feels supported and she knows that her job is not in danger and can go back to my career, I can be who I am and not be a totally different person and add a child into my life. I think the Netherlands has created a very reassuring mindset for the women here to where they can have babies and not worry about losing their career, losing everything they love and everything they know, and just make it so much easier to raise a child instead of making it seem like children are an inconvenience. And maybe that's why, and I'm sure there's a bunch of reasons why they say that children here in the Netherlands are among the happiest in the world. And that's because they have all this time that they can spend with mom and dad instead of being raised in a childcare center. I'm not saying that all women in the US feel this way, but I'm just of the belief that so much of what's currently going wrong in the society in the US starts with early childhood. And I just think it's such a shame that the US doesn't offer more money for mothers who are on maternity leave. They don't offer the substantial amount of time for fathers who've just had babies. And I think they stand a chance to learn something from the Netherlands and Europe as a whole. Anyways, guys, that's just my 2 cents. It's something that I've been thinking about a lot because, like I said, I just got back to work this week. So thank you for allowing me the space to share that with you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I wanted to take a second to thank you so much for everyone who's been checking in on the baby and asking asking how he's doing. He's doing great. He's growing. I wanted to introduce him to you guys today, but in order for me to make this video, he had to be taking a nap. Otherwise, it would be a little chaotic. I promise that he will definitely make an appearance on a video here soon. Thank you so much for taking the time to hang out with me today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. If you're from the Netherlands or Europe or from another country, let me know if you did get paid maternity leave or paternity leave off. I'd love to know that in the comment section. If you haven't already, I hope you consider subscribing to the channel. And until next time, doei doei!